Hola, and welcome to Senora Gos's Spanish Geniuses. Here's an overview of what the Spanish course entails for high school level 1. First, let me introduce myself. I'm Senora Gos. I am a former public school teacher and now a homeschooling mom of 5 children. They're awesome. And I've been teaching homeschoolers here in Central Texas for 15 years, teaching them Spanish and public speaking. And last but not least, I live on a farm, so all of the lessons will be conducted right here from my small home office on the farm, and sometimes you'll get the added perk of listening to little ducklings or chicks in the background, because that's part of farm life. Every lesson has 4 parts. The first one is the lesson video, very similar to what you're watching right now. You'll just be clicking through, watching the video and following along in your downloadable notes. So you'll be downloading and printing out your notes, making sure it's interactive and you're engaged while you're doing your lesson. You're not just sitting there, you're copying down and making sure you're absorbing everything that I teach you. For added practice, you're getting a textbook that has audio work in it as well, and there'll be exercises throughout the week to make sure you're practicing your Spanish on your own time as well. And finally, the last part is the simple vocabulary practice. I call it Vocab Lab, and it's separate. It's a separate video for each lesson, so you can practice your vocabulary separately from your grammar practice and make sure you get in plenty of repetition for each Spanish lesson. So how does it start? Well, it looks just like this. Bienvenidos. It says welcome. And I go through on the very first week and tell you what's expected of you. You're going to download and print your weekly packet. You choose a Spanish name, so that's super fun. We'll look at the book the very first week and we'll put paper clips and separate that out so you're nice and familiar with your textbook before you continue on. And we'll be practicing colors and numbers and manners, all in the very first lesson, which is only 25 minutes. Watch that video and follow along in your packet and you'll be amazed at all the information I'm able to pack into a 25-minute video. If it is too fast, the great thing about technology is you can pause and rewind. So here's your textbook. This is Spanish Now. The 8th edition has MP3 CDs with it. You'll click through SpanishGeniuses.com and order from Amazon.com. We found that that's the most cost-effective way for you. So here's a peek at some of lesson 1. Here's that same audio, that same picture, bienvenidos, and I go through and it's at the end of that slide telling you what you're going to be doing for this week. Then I introduce myself and have you practice, mi nombre es Senora Gos, and you have a chance to repeat that. So it's nice and simple, like I said. That was the beginning of the lesson. The end of the lesson, here's 13 more seconds to look at that, is grammar notes. So every lesson has some grammar notes. So you're going to be learning how to take notes and follow along, and I'll be filling in all these blanks down here with a little bit of Spanish information for you, and it's nice and short and sweet, easy to follow, but really engaging so that you're making sure to absorb it before we move on to the next lesson. So what are the perks of being a Spanish genius? First, you get to pay as you go, so you don't have to shell out a whole bunch of money all at once. You're able to pay as you download those lessons, and I feel like that's pretty genius. You're going to learn at your own pace, which is fantastic, so you can go as fast or as slow as you need to. So, genius. Then, of course, we hit all 3 learning styles, audio and visual help on the screen and in your book, and then a lot of your packets, your homework packets, have some tactile action type activities and exercises in those, so we hit all of that. Again, just it's natural, but it's genius, it's simple. And finally, I like to keep things interesting. I get bored, just like students, and so I always offer lots of supplements to ramp it up and give you lots of options to change up the way you learn and make sure you're interested and engaged as we go through your Spanish lessons. So if you're ready, be sure to go ahead and order your textbook and buy your first lesson, and I am excited to help you learn, absorb, and use the Spanish language. Gracias y adiós.